So today I want to talk about a concept called house hacking. So house hacking was actually the first way that I got started in real estate, um, and that's what helped me build my wealth. I basically the houses that I house hacked had a lot of equity. I did a cash out refinance, pulled out that money tax free to essentially buy my two apartment complexes, my mobile home park. So I would say house hacking was the foundation to me building wealth. So let's take a step back. What is house hacking? So house hacking is when you have a single family home, and let's say it's a 4 bedroom house, and you live in the master bedroom yourself, and then you rent out the 3 other rooms to people on a room by room basis. So for example, I bought my first house in 2017 for $825,000. I put 10% down, which is roughly 800, about $82,000, and my monthly cost at a 4% interest loan was around $4,500 a month, and that includes utilities. So basically, what I did was I went onto Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. Back then, I would post an ad, said, "Hey, room rent by the room." It was fully furnished. It didn't need to be fully furnished. I didn't know at the time, but I could have rented the rooms the same, furnished or unfurnished, and it included utilities, so internet, all utilities, and it was $1,000 a month, right? So $1,000 a month, and that was for if you shared a bathroom. If for the one with the private bathroom, it was $1,100 a month. So I would post it, and then I had a lot of interest because a lot of people are in transitional situations, and they just want like kind of temporary housing. And some of the tenants stay average about 6 months, some stayed a year, but it just really depended on the situation. But I would rent it by the room, and I was able to get around $3,000 a month. So my all-in cost was $4,500 a month. That's mortgage, utilities, property tax, insurance, and I got $3,000 a month, which covered my mortgage essentially. So I was paying about $1,500 a month to live in a house that I house hacked. So because of that, it reduced my cost of living significantly, and that's how I was able to save more money to buy my second house, right? And I did the same thing. I house hacked that house. This one was a little bit more unique, where they had an up unit and a down unit, and I would live in the up unit, which was 3 bedrooms. I'd live in the master bedroom, rented out the 2 other bedrooms in the upper unit, and then I rent out the entire lower unit to some college students. So I've house hacked multiple ways. The more popular way of house hacking is, let's say you buy a duplex, triplex, fourplex. And duplex, triplex, fourplex, since they're residential real estate, they qualify for conventional loans, so you can buy with 10% down, just like a single family home. And what's nice about this is, let's just say you got a 4 unit apartment complex. Let's say you have a quadruplex, right? And then with the fourplex, you live in one unit and you rent out the other 3 units, right? Or oftentimes when you buy the fourplex, the units are usually rented out already, and then at that point you are just living in the one vacant unit, and then you rent out the other units, and the hope is that the rent that you get from the other 3 units is covering all your expense or most of the expense, right? And what's nice about this concept is that you get more privacy, right? You get your own. Let's say you have a fourplex, they're all 2 bedroom, 1 bath. You own it. You're living in one unit. You have your own privacy, right? Your own 2 bedrooms, bathroom, kitchen. You don't see your tenants, and the other tenants live in the other 3 units, and that will subsidize your costs. Same concept with duplex and triplex, right? Like, that's the ideal situation of house hacking, and I think that's a great method. I wish I did, right? But the problem was, or the reality is, in California, duplexes, triplexes, fourplexes are hard to find. Number one. Number two is they're expensive, and number three is, because people know about the concept, they're very popular, right? Because they know that, like maybe back in the day before podcasts and bigger pockets, like people, it was unknown. Now it's more known. So for me, I just thought, okay, well, I can't get duplex, triplex, fourplex, but I still want to do it. So I just bought a single family home, and they'll rent by the room. Yes, you do lose privacy, right? Yes, you are living with tenants. Yes, you have to manage conflicts of tenants. But that's kind of the inconvenience you have to deal with, delayed gratification that you have to deal with in order to build wealth. All right, so let me give some context. That the first home I house hacked, I bought for $825,000. It's now worth around $1.3 million. So that's about $500,000 in equity for doing absolutely nothing, right? I lived there for about maybe almost 2 years, and after I moved out of it, I just rented out the whole unit to a family, right? Because I didn't want to deal with rent by the room remotely, right? That was like too much of a hassle. So once I bought my second house that I house hacked, I rented out my first house completely, and then the second house that I house hacked, the lower unit was already rented out. I just rented out the upper unit to a family as well, right? So typically, once I leave the house, I don't house hack it anymore. And that second single family home that I bought, it went up by about $400,000 to $500,000 as well. I bought my third property that I wanted to house hack in Orange County, and my intent was to live in it and house hack it, but I got laid off and had to move somewhere else. So I ended up just renting out the whole house and never rented by the room. But I'm at the point in my life where I'm just like actually just renting an apartment right now, with living with my girlfriend, because I want privacy. I don't want to deal with tenants at this stage. Certainly I am open to it again if I buy my next house in Southern California, and just given how high the prices of the homes are, they went up, since 2017, and interest rates are higher now. I might consider house hacking just one room. Let's say I have a 4-bedroom house, and I live in the master bedroom with my girlfriend, and maybe we'll rent out one room to like someone who's never there, right? So just to subsidize some of the costs, maybe I can get $1,000, $1,200 to offset my higher interest rate. And like I said, we don't have kids or family yet, so we can live with that, right? So I will say there's inconveniences that come with it, but if you're willing to deal with it, it's a nice way to get extra income, right? Like I know a lot of empty nesters. If maybe you're old, your kids are out for college, they moved out, you can like rent out a room or two and get extra income, especially if like, let's say you travel a lot, you're not home as frequently. It's nice to have somebody there that's like kind of like watching the house, right? So, it's not a bad option. So to kind of summarize all of this, I took it to the extreme, right? Like I literally rented out every spare bedroom. Like in San Francisco, I even thought about because in San Francisco, it's very common to actually convert the living room or family room into additional room, right? Like, so in San Francisco, it's not by bedroom, it's by room. So I literally, if I wanted to go super extreme, I could have rented, it was a 3-bedroom, 1.5 bath with a family room, a dining room, and then a kitchen, right? So if I really want to go extreme, I lived in the master bedroom, I rented out the 2 other bedrooms, we shared a bathroom, there was a half bath downstairs, there was a family room where I had my TV, I spent most of my time there to be honest, and then we have a dining room where I had a big dining table, and then there was the kitchen area. So if I wanted to go extreme, I literally could have rented out the master bedroom, the 2 rooms upstairs, and I would live in the family room, and I can create this partition wall. Those portable ones that you can buy pretty cheap, like a bamboo portable partition wall to block off the entrances. I maintain privacy. I'll have my sofa, which has my TV, and I just put a bed there, and then I can put those makeshift closets, right? Because for context, I was renting out each of the bedrooms upstairs for about $1,200 each, which was cheap, and I could have easily rent out the master bedroom for about $1,500. So that would have been $2,400 plus, what is that, $1,500, so that's like $3,900, and I would live in the family room, which I was there most of the time, to be honest. I only went upstairs to sleep. So if I really wanted to go extreme, that's what I could have done, and that's how I could have gotten a little more creative, right? And one thing that I do, which is kind of a pro tip for house hacking, is I pick people who are never home and don't cook, right? Like I want people who maybe they work the opposite schedule as me. If I work 9 to 5, maybe they work a graveyard shift, right? Where they by the time they leave, they work from 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. So literally when I go to work, they come home. When I come home, they go to work, right? So you barely see them. And I had a travel nurse where they would basically do 3 days, three night shifts, because they work 3/12s. And then on the 4 days off, she would just go back to her hometown up in Sacramento. So that's the best tenant, right? Literally she's paying me for the month. She's reverse schedule of me, and she's never there. And then they don't cook because you're so tired after 12 hours. You just want to eat out, right? So that's the type of people you want, right? They're never home. They don't cook. reverse schedule view, so you still maintain that privacy. So that's why I was very strategic of that. And a lot of the tenants, from my experience, they just stayed in their room, right? I'd only see them go downstairs, microwave their food, bring food, they'll go upstairs in their room, and then they usually eat there, watch TV there, and they want privacy too, right? So I wasn't that inconvenienced by it, but you will have conflicts, right? Sometimes they'll complain like, oh, you're messy. I'll be honest too, like some of the people, they'll treat the house like a hotel, right? Like they'll just be like, oh well, they don't take out the garbage, they don't throw away the garbage, they might leave a dish in there. So just know it comes with the territory, right? Like, so what I did was I just said, all right, well, every month we're gonna have a maid come. It's gonna cost like $100, or like maybe 150 or $200, whatever, right? It would be like $200 a month, and then it would clean all the common areas, the rooms. So we'd split the cost, right? I'd cover the most cost, because I have the master bedroom. But like, let's just say I might be like $100 a month for the maid. Let's say $200 a month for cleaning. I'd pay 100, and then the other 100 I would divide amongst the 3 other tenants, right? So I do that up front. I say, hey, like, we're gonna have a maid come. They're gonna clean everything on a monthly basis to make the house clean, to make your room clean, make it nice, and I just make it up front, right? So I didn't have it really too bad. I had a lot of success of always renting it out. Like I said, it helped me build my wealth, and it's a great concept to do, especially when you're younger. If you still have that college mentality, it's a great way to get started, right? So I would love to do it now today if I could get a duplex, triplex, fourplex, and then just live in one unit, rent out the other units. So we'll see, and I'm gonna document the journey. So hopefully this inspires you to consider house hacking. Maybe you have an extra bedroom that you want to rent out. Maybe you want to buy a house and it's just you, and you want to rent out other rooms to subsidize the cost. So let me know if you have any questions down below. Love to answer the questions. I hope to see you next video. Thank you so much. Bye bye.